Hari Om Tat Sat. Welcome to Gyan Bhakti. We focus exclusively on spirituality, Vedanta, and Sanatana Dharma. Please subscribe for mystical meanings of the scriptures and daily satsangs. Our humble prostrations to the all-pervading Brahman or God, our worshipful Guruji, Swami Jyotirmayananda Maharaj, all sages and scriptures, and to the divinity in each of you. We are currently exploring the scripture Mysticism of Mahabharata. Commentary is by Sri Jyotirmayananda Maharaj and narrated by myself, Swami Nikhilananda. So today we will be starting a new section. It's called Virata Parva. After receiving the blessings of Dharmaraj, the Pandavas began to plan for the 13th year of their exile. During this final year, the Pandavas had to remain perfectly disguised so that their true identity could not be discovered by anyone. If discovered, they would have to repeat the 12 years of forest life, followed by another year of life incognito. Heeding the advice given to Yudhishthira by Dharma, the Pandavas decided to spend this year in the kingdom of King Virat. On the way, they bundled together all their weapons and hid them on the top branches of a mighty tree. From the lower branches, they hung a dead body, knowing that the corpse would repel passerby and keep them away from the tree and the valuable treasure hidden there. The Pandavas in disguise. After reaching the kingdom, the disguised Pandavas presented themselves one at a time at the royal court, seeking employment as servants. Yudhishthira introduced himself to the king as Kank, a learned Brahmin and an expert in the game of dice, who wished to keep the king happy by entertaining him and giving him wise counsel. Arjuna, who had taken the form of a sexless eunuch wearing female dress, introduced himself as Brihanalla, a teacher of dancing, music, and various arts. He wished to live in the internal quarters of the palace, teaching these gracious arts to the princes and the queens. Bhima introduced himself as Vallabha, a cook. Besides being adept at managing the kitchen, he possessed considerable skills in wrestling and would participate in competitions if the king so desired. Draupadi introduced herself as a maidservant, Sairandhari. It was her wish to take care of beautifying the queen, but do no other servant work. She explained that she was married to 5 Gandharvas who, due to a curse, were separated from her for a year. These Gandharvas, however, invincibly protected her from harm at all times. Nakula introduced himself as Granthika, an expert in the care and handling of horses, who wished to be the manager of the stable. Finally, Sahadeva introduced himself as Arishtanemi, skilled in tending the cows and keeping them healthy and safe. King Virat and Queen Sudeshna were both impressed with these unusual strangers applying for work, and all were hired, given a good salary, and treated with respect. Living comfortably in their disguises and performing their duties, the brothers and Draupadi shared the things they acquired in their various jobs and conversed in secret, exercising great care not to be discovered. Next episode, Kichaka's infatuation with Draupadi. After 10 months had passed, Kichak, who was the brother of Queen Sudeshna and the feared commander-in-chief of the army, came to visit his sister and became infatuated with Sairandhari. No matter how much Sudeshna tried to dissuade him, Kichak insisted that the beautiful Sairandhari must become his queen. On one occasion, Sairandhari was sent to bring Kichak some wine. Overcome by his lustful desires, Kichak pursued Sairandhari, and when she ran to the royal court to get away from him, he followed and then angrily kicked her in public. Although the disguised Pandavas could not risk doing anything in the open to avenge the wrong done to Draupadi, Bhima met with her in private and came up with an ingenious scheme for taking care of the demoniac commander-in-chief. As Bhima had suggested, Draupadi, disguised as Sairandhari, told Kichak that she had had a change of heart and really longed to meet him secretly that night at the newly constructed dance hall. She further urged him to be sure that no one else knew about the liaison so that her Gandharva husbands would not find out about her infidelity. When Kichak arrived at the hall, filled with eager expectation, he saw someone lying on a bed covered with a blanket. Thinking it was his adored Sairandhari, he approached with joy, telling her how beautifully he had adorned himself for her and speaking tender words. Then, to his amazement, a strange voice responded from under the cover, and Bhima, not Sairandhari, arose from the bed. A terrible fight ensued, and the dance hall shook and shook until finally Bhima smashed Kichak to death. Because of the disfigured condition of the dead body, everyone in the kingdom thought that Sairandhari had certainly been protected by the supernormal powers of her 5 Gandharva husbands. In retaliation, the 105 attendants of Kichakka dragged Sairandhari to the cremation ground in an attempt to burn her up along with dead Kichak. However, Bhima, having disguised himself to look like a supernatural personality, appeared on the scene swinging a mighty tree and killed all those attendants. Although Queen Sudeshna was told to send that mysterious maid servant away from the kingdom, Sairandhari convinced her to let her stay for a short time, remaining until the curse of her Gandharva husbands was lifted, at which time they would reward the king and queen generously for their kindness to Sairandhari. With this, we conclude today's satsang. This is Swami Nikhilanand. In tomorrow's episode, we will pick up the Kauravas attack the kingdom of Virata. Hari Om Tat Sat.